Hello and welcome to our notes video on angle addition. So this is going to be lesson 1.5, angle addition. So first thing to define for this lesson is adjacent. So adjacent angles are angles that share a common side. All right, and we're going to go ahead and draw a diagram for this. So we're going to have our angle drawn. We want to divide it up into two angles. However, we do not necessarily want those angles to be equal. So I've done mine as different sizes. And now I'm going to go ahead and label my angle G, C, and H. I'm going to have this ray down the middle and have this point S. So a couple statements about my angles here. The common side that is shared by the two adjacent angles is actually this side in the middle. So the two angles are angle GCS and angle SCH. So angle GCS and angle SCH are adjacent. Those are the two adjacent angles. So we could think of adjacent as next to each other. All right, then the common side we are speaking of is ray CS. So CS is the common side. Okay, so now that we have defined adjacent angles, we are going to talk about the angle addition postulate. I'm actually going to write this further down. Angle addition postulate. So please continue on the same page. All right, and I'm going to, you don't need to, but I'm going to redraw that angle that I was referencing on the other page. So I named that angle G, C, H, and this one was S. Okay, so the angle addition postulate, if I think about those two angles that are adjacent to each other, they actually come together to create a larger angle, which is angle GCH. So these two smaller angles, GCS and SCH, can be combined together to make angle GCH. And that is exactly the angle addition postulate. So I'm going to write an equation. So I have the measure of angle GCS plus the measure of angle SCH equals the measure of the larger angle here, let me get my angle symbol, GCH. Now I'm going to go ahead and color code those, and I would like you to follow along with colors in your notes as well. So GCH is in blue, SCH is in green, and then I'm going to add a third color, GCH, for the whole angle. So this may sound familiar to when we worked with segments, but we did refer to this as part plus part equals whole. And it is the same with angles as it was with segments. Part plus part equals whole. All right, let's start getting into some examples of this. So this is a handout that you will need to get from me, a printed copy that you will be writing on. So example 1, we still want to use those 3 colors, and we're going to need to highlight the information and actually label it on the diagram. So measure of angle STG. STG is going to put that angle right there, and I'm just going to label that as 24 degrees. Then I have the measure of angle GTU. Oops. GTU is 155. Label that. And I'm asked to find the measure of angle STU. STU, which appears to be the whole entire angle that I am looking for. So recall on the last slide we had talked about part plus part equals whole. So in this case I have 24 plus 155, which will equal my whole angle, and that is 179 degrees. So the measure of angle STU equals 179 degrees. And that is my final answer. Okay, let's see another very similar question. You can pause the video to try this question on your own. Okay, so we want to find the measure of angle JKL. JKL appears to be the whole angle in this question. I'm given that JKI is equal to 50 and IKL is 105. So once again, part plus part equals whole. I'm going to add 50 plus 105, which will give me 155. So the measure of angle JKL is 155. Oh, and I'm going to fix my colors there. IKL 105. Okay, now that we've practiced a little with just numbers, we're going to get into with algebra. So in this question we are asked to find x, where we're going to need to solve for x. We know that the measure of angle SUV is x plus 120. SUV x plus 120. We also know that the measure of angle TUS is x plus 71. And TUV, which is the whole thing, is 169. All right, I still want to set up part plus part equals whole. However, this time I have some algebra to use. So my first part is x plus 71. I have that in blue here. plus my second part, which is x plus 120. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight those to be very clear that this part came from the blue angle and x plus 120 came from the green angle. All right, now that's going to equal our whole. And our whole here is the whole angle 169. At this point, I want to combine my like terms. I have variables and regular numbers. So x plus x is 2x. And 71 plus 120 is 191. That equals 169. And now I will need to subtract 191 from both sides. Cancels on that side, and 169 minus 191 is negative 22. Rewrite my 2x, and finally I divide by 2 to cancel there, and x equals negative 11. All right, very good. Let's move on. We have just 3 examples left. All right, we have 3 more problems to do with algebra. Again, in this problem, we are asked to find x. So let's get into our labeling. We have SMN is 24x plus 2. And LMS is 130. And then LMN, which is the whole angle, is going to equal 89x plus 2. All right, let's set up part plus part equals whole. So that would be 24x plus 2 plus 130 equals 89x plus 2. So I'm at a spot where I now have variables on both sides of the equation. I still want to combine my like terms, so I have regular numbers here. That's going to be 24x plus 132 equals 89x minus 2. Now I want to collect my variables or move my variable to the same side, and I can do that by subtracting 24x, and I then get 132 equals 65x minus 2. Okay, I will now add 2 to both sides to cancel there. Running out of room a little bit, I get 65x equals 134, and then divide by 65. Hopefully you get this to fit better. My final answer here is going to be 2. It should be 2. I made a mistake. Where did I make my mistake? Oh, now I see it. It was supposed to be plus here. So I need to change this to subtraction. And that brings 130 equals 65. X, and then finally x equals 2. That is our final answer. Okay, just 2 more problems. Thanks for sticking with me. Our colors are ready, and we're going to get to labeling. TUV, TUV. Oh, looks like that is the whole thing for me. GUV, is 18x plus 9. And finally, TUG is 6x plus 2. And I forgot to note my 179 degrees there. Okay, so we're going to take part plus part equals whole. So my first part is 6x plus 2. My second part is 18x plus 9. And that equals the whole angle measure of 179. Time to collect my like terms. And I get 24x plus 11. Now I will subtract 11, and I get 168 equals 24x. And my last step is to divide by 24 to both sides, squeeze that in there, and x equals 7. However, in this problem, I am not done. It says to find the measure of angle TUG. The measure of angle TUG is 6x plus 2, and now that x is 7, 6 times 7 plus 2 is 44. That is the measure of angle TUG. Alright, and we made it to our last problem. Find the measure of angle JIH. So again, we're going to be substituting, plugging in on this one. Measure of angle JIM is 40. Measure of angle JIH is 13x minus 2. JIH. Ooh, that's the whole thing. 13x minus 2. And finally, my last part, MIH is 8x minus 2. I'm going to start part plus part equals whole. Time to collect my like terms. This is 8x minus 38 equals 13x minus 2. Move my variable over to the same side, and I get negative 38 equals 5x minus 2. Right, yeah, 5. Okay, add 2 to both sides. No, that's... Oh, and my apologies, making all kinds of mistakes. That should have been a positive 38. That brings this to 40. Divide by 5, and x is 8. Now, we do need to plug that into the measure of angle JIH, which is 13x minus 2. 13 times 8 minus 2. 13 times 8 is 80, 104. Minus 2 is 102. You made it all the way to the end of the video. I appreciate you, and we'll talk soon.